Hello students, today we're going to start chapter 6. We're actually combining lessons 1, 2, and 3 in one video and one set of notes. We're going to start with what the goal of solving an equation is, and an equation has an equal sign and it'll look like example 1 there, where you've got variables, you've got numbers, and you've got two sides of the equation, two sides of the equal sign. The goal of everything that we're going to do today is to find the replacement for the variable that makes the statement true. We certainly don't want to find a value for the variable that does not work out. For example 1, we'll take a look at 30 equaling x minus negative 10. The first thing I would advise you to do is rewrite the subtraction. Now my equation is cleaned up. 30 equals x plus 10. So what you want to look at is whatever is on the same side as the variable, because we want to get the variable alone. So the problem here is this plus 10, and I want to undo the plus 10. In order to undo the plus 10, I want to make plus 10 into 0 to get x alone. So to get rid of it, I'm going to do the opposite operation, the inverse operation of addition. I'm going to subtract 10. But if I do that to the right side of the equation, I also have to do that over on the left side. What that's going to do is a couple things. First of all, it's going to get x alone because this plus 10 and minus 10 is going to zero out. So I like to cross it off with a z, which stands for 0, because x is alone. On the left side, we're going to take 30 minus 10 to get 20. And then what I'm going to do is rewrite that with the x on the left, so x equals 20. We're going to put our answer in something that is called set braces. And set braces look like this. And basically set braces mean, hey, here's the set of all possible answers that work. If you have problems drawing set braces, turn your paper and draw kind of a seagull going into the silhouette of the sun. You might have drawn a seagull or a bird like this in a sunset picture in elementary school. And if you turn the paper twice, you're going to have set braces. Now, the check is how we're going to check to make sure we're correct. And the check is really important. So the first thing we're going to do is copy the original problem. The second step of the check is to plug in for the variable what we got, and we got 20. And using our calculator, if we take 20 minus negative 10, we're going to get 30. 30 does equal 30, and therefore we know that our answer is true. Now, in the event that you get a check that does not work, like let's say we got the answer of 2, and 2 minus negative 10 gives us 12. You don't want to fudge it and tell me on your paper that 30 equals 30. You want to tell me honestly what you got on both sides of the check, because that's worth more points to be honest and to admit that you may have gotten the wrong answer, but that you need to go back and check at your work just in case you have extra time. For example 2, we're looking at x with a fraction bar over negative 8. Remember that the fraction bar represents the operation division. So to undo division, we're going to multiply, and we're going to multiply by what's in the denominator here. So you're going to show me times negative 8 to both sides. And when we multiply by something that we've divided by, that becomes a 1. Those cross out, and we get x equal to 11 times 8 is negative 88. We'll put that guy in set braces. And we'll do a check. Again, what you got for x, negative 88. And negative 88 divided by negative 8 gives me 11. So 11 equals 11. Check mark, you're done. In between this, for example 3, negative 0.4 and the x, there's really multiplication. They just don't write it. So in order to undo, to get rid of this negative 0.4 times the x, we're going to do the opposite operation and divide both sides by negative 0.4. So our answer is going to come from whatever the quotient is for 12 divided by negative 0.4. These cancel out to be a 1, and that's what we want. We want 1x, or just plain x. And our answer is going to be 12 divided by negative 0.4, which equals negative 30. So x equals negative 30. We're going to put that in set braces. And we're going to do a check. So 12 equals 12. For example 4, we've got negative 5 equal to b plus 8. We want to undo the plus 8. So show me the work and solve for b. You should find that you are subtracting 8 from both sides, and that 8 minus 8 is going to zero out. Negative 5 minus 8 is going to give me negative 13. So negative 13 equals b. Try the check. Check your check on your paper with mine. You should have the original, the plug-in, and negative 5 equals negative 5. For example 5, we're looking at 3/4 times d equal to 12/20. Before we solve this problem, 12/20 is not simplified. So let's reduce that. They both are divisible by 4. So if we pull out a factor of 4 of 12, we get 3. And 20 divided by 4 gives me 5. Now, in between the d and the 3/4 is multiplication. To undo multiplication, we're going to divide. And you're going to divide both sides by 3/4. Now this might look pretty gross because you're typing in a fraction divided by a fraction, but just keep in mind you'll have your calculator with this chapter. So you need to get used to the buttons on your specific calculator. When you divide 3/4 by 3/4, it becomes 1, and you're just left with d on the left side. 3/5 divided by 3/4 is really like 3/5, keep, change, flip. The 3's cancel. So you get 4/5 here. And put that in set braces. Try the check. You'll notice I went back to equaling 12/20 instead of the simplified 3/5. And then I plugged in my 4/5 and multiplied across to get 12/20 equals 12/20. Try example 6 for me on your own. You should be getting a final answer of negative 45/7 or negative 6 3/7. Try the check. Using the fraction capabilities on your calculator, you're going to multiply negative 7/9 times negative 45/7, and when you hit equals, you should be getting 5. Example 7 reads, the average lifespan of a tiger is 17 years. This is 3 less than the average lifespan of a lion. Write and solve an equation to find the average lifespan of a lion. We're going to make what we're trying to find, the lifespan of a lion, x. We know that a tiger is equal to 17, and that is equal to 3 years less than the average lifespan of a lion. That means we're taking the lifespan of the lion and subtracting 3 years. In order to solve, we're going to add 3 to both sides. So the average lifespan of the lion is 20 years. For example 8, we're looking at Mrs. Acosta's car can travel an average of 24 miles on each gallon of gasoline. Write and solve an equation to find how many gallons of gasoline, that's our x, she will need for a trip of 348 miles. So we can get 24 miles per gallon. Per means multiplying. So we're going to take 24 times x and set it equal to her total mileage for the trip, 348. We're going to divide both sides by 24. So Mrs. Acosta will need 14.5 gallons in order to make her trip. For example 9, it says Valerie needs 2/3 of a yard of fabric to make each hat for the school's play. Write and solve an equation to find how many hats, here's your x, she can make with 6 yards of fabric. So again, this kind of looks like the last one. We're going to take 2/3 times x and set it equal to 6. Solve for me. You should be dividing both sides by 2/3, and 6 divided by 2/3 is going to give you 9 hats.